now here's a stock and a company, here's a great company that was hurt because of Corona, and we're going to go over that. It's Starbucks. It's falling at the beginning of the day, despite, I'd say, an extraordinary earnings beat, including a number that I never thought, U.S. comps of 6%. You go back a few years, we thought that was not possible. So let's bring in Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson on from Seattle. Kevin, there's a key line in your conference call, and the line is, you would have taken numbers up if it were not for the obvious. So could you walk us through what could have been and what was?
Well, Jim, good morning. We just came off of one of the strongest holiday quarters in the history of Starbucks. And if you look at what we delivered in this last quarter, certainly a 5% growth in same-store sales globally, led by our U.S. U.S. grew 6% comp with 3% growth in customer occasions, in traffic. China grew 3% in same-store comparable last quarter with 1% growth in traffic. So, our retail business is really firing on all cylinders. We grew net new stores by 6%. Our channels business grew 5%. You put that all together, we had one of the strongest holiday quarters in the history of the company. Customer confidence and customer connection scores are at an all-time high. Beverage innovation accounted for 5 points of that 6-point comp growth in the U.S., and we grew our digital active rewards members by 16% to 18.9 million. So coming off of Q1, that momentum just continues to build. Now, as you point out, we're now managing a very dynamic situation in China related to the coronavirus. And, we've been in China for 20 years. We realize that this is a temporary issue that we've got to deal with. And we're doing it responsibly. We're doing it by prioritizing the health and well-being of our Starbucks partners. And we're working closely with local health officials and government to help ensure that they're able to contain the virus and that we can get through this quickly and get on with it. But coming off a very, very powerful quarter, we had a beat and we were intending to raise, but given the coronavirus, we felt it was in the best interest to really better understand the implications of that. And as we do, we're going to be transparent with our investors.
Right, I don't mean to dwell on coronavirus, but obviously America's dwelling on it. You closed half your stores in China. One, why not close all the stores? Because you care tremendously about not just the workers, the baristas, but the families. And two, you've got an incredible delivery system. Why not just say, you know what, our stores are closed, but we're going to deliver it to you because we're worried about corona?
Well, certainly, Jim, we've closed over half of our stores in China, and it is a very dynamic situation. We look at that each and every day. I mean, certainly some of the stores we normally close over Chinese New Year's. And then certainly in Hubei province, where Wuhan is, kind of the center of this coronavirus, that entire province is basically closed down. But then we've been very responsible and thoughtful in working with local health officials and governments. And if there's stores, perhaps tourist gatherings or near universities or hospitals, we've closed those stores. And, of course, we do have our mobile order for pickup or delivery in China. And, just last quarter, for example, 16% of our sales in China was through mobile ordering, and 9% of that was for delivery. So we do have delivery available. And look, we're dealing with this on a daily basis. And so when there's a concern, we will close stores. And we're going to do it responsibly and thoughtfully.
Hey, Kevin, got to ask you about cold beverage, which basically led all of your day parts in all of your regions in the middle of winter. I just wonder, are there implications for kitchen engineering and margins and service time?
Well, this, in many ways, the cold beverage phenomenon is one that really builds on our core platforms. Think about this. A lot of this is cold brew and nitro cold brew that we put into our stores. And then the way we've complemented that with, things like Irish cream cold brew, and that really is what's driving it. So, in many ways, the fact that we've deployed nitro to all of our stores in the U.S., that's unlocking cold growth. But it's around our core coffee and espresso beverage platforms, which is a good thing. And so we're very pleased with the reception to the entire beverage portfolio. And I think that is a key driver of why we're seeing customer occasions increase and traffic grow into our stores.
I do think, Kevin, that when I look at what you're doing, and you talked about innovation, at Starbucks today, in terms of the clock, in terms of when you're using their physical plant, versus a few years ago when you first took over, there was really this kind of 2 to 5 period where it was dead weight loss. You've changed that with innovation, haven't you?
Well, we've really transformed the way we drive innovation at Starbucks. And, fundamentally, I've tried to take all of the lessons I learned of 32 years in the tech industry with how you innovate and constantly drive innovation that's relevant to your customers, innovation that inspires our partners, and innovation that's meaningful to our business. So we've transformed. We've gone from long cycle innovation methodologies to a mantra of going from idea to action in 100 days and then learn and adapt. And we see that across beverage, across digital, across store design.
That you have had to deal with, and I know you like, I've read the book, HMS in airports, suboptimal, okay? It is no longer just, hey, you know what, Jim, they're absolutely great. It's terrible. There's so many of them that are understaffed, so many of them that are cavalier. They are not up to your standards, Kevin. And what are you going to do about a partner who is, and I don't want to hear that they're up to your standards because I have too much evidence empirically that that's not true. How can you get that mess under control?
Well, first of all, Jim, I'll comment the whole dynamic in airports has changed dramatically over the last 5 to 7 years. And certainly we've had a long-term partnership with HMS Host. And, the volume of traffic that we saw to our Starbucks stores in airports over this holiday season was phenomenal. So it's clear we've got to reinvent and rethink how we do this. Now, HMS Host has been a long-term partner. They've had exclusivity in these airports. Going forward, HMS Host will continue to be a partner, but we're moving to a model where they don't have exclusivity, and that's going to give us more opportunity to innovate and try different things. For example, we're working on some ideas even with pop-ups, pop-up stores in airports that could move depending on time of day and where gate arrivals and gate departures are taking place. So HMS Host is going to continue to be a partner, but they will be in a model where they are not exclusive, which gives us a range of options to better serve our customers.
Oh, that's so good. It had to happen. I love it. Go to the airport, get my coffee. Go to coffee.
Kevin, last week you announced some plans to become more resource positive, eliminating waste, storing more carbon than you emit. I was amazed at this statistic that adding whipped cream to Starbucks drinks emits 50 times the greenhouse gases of the company's private jet. So I guess the question is how far you're going to take this effort into what consumers may want on their coffee.
Well, first I'll comment, we have been focused on sustainability for the last decade. But I think we realized that we've been doing it episodically on different parts of our business. So about a year ago, we made a decision that we want to really take a holistic look at our footprint as it relates to carbon, water, and waste. And we engaged some of the world's experts. Bill McDonough is an example. Paul Pullman was an advisor to me. And we sat down and we did this benchmark of our entire footprint. And we decided to set a very bold, multi-decade aspiration to become a resource-positive company, a company that gives more than we take from the planet. Now, when you think about becoming climate positive and water positive and waste positive, that is over the next few decades going to really redefine Starbucks. And we've outlined a set of strategies and things to get us started. We've set some goals and some targets for 2030. But we believe through the research, look, our customers want this. 30% of the world's population is Gen Z, and this is what they want. Our Starbucks partners want this. So we are embarking on a journey. We know this journey will be hard. We're going to have to solve a lot of problems that nobody's solved yet today. It won't be linear, but we are going to do this. We're going to do it in partnership with others, and we're going to be thoughtful, and we're going to bring the market along with us. But this is something that, Kevin, as we approach the 50th anniversary of Starbucks, will redefine the company.
Yeah, listen, it sounds great, but I mean, you're talking about changing customer behavior in such a significant way. I mean, the single use of your product is enormous. Obviously, you look outside at any garbage can outside of Starbucks, and it's filled up to the top, if not overflowing, unfortunately, here in New York. You really think you can change behaviors to the extent that people will, for example, bring in their own thermos, and that will become more the rule than the exception?
Well, look, there's a variety of things that will need to happen. I think certainly when it is for a cup that is for takeaway, part of what we have to understand is how to reinvent those cups so that they're compostable and recyclable, and that we work to ensure that there's a waste management facility that actually does the recycling. But we also are going to really focus on reusables. And you look at some markets in Korea, for example, they're now at about 50% reusable cups. And, so if a customer consumes their beverage in the store, maybe it's a ceramic cup. In other cases, we're going to focus on reusables. But these are the kinds of problems that we have to solve, and part of it will be helping adapt consumer behavior. You just take, for example, on beverages. Roughly 15% of our beverages in our stores in the U.S. now are alternative milks, plant-based milks, and that number continues to grow. Those are examples of things that we're going to have to influence and take customers and partners on this journey with us. But we believe that this is something that the world wants and needs, and we're going to do it thoughtfully, we're going to do it responsibly, we're going to do it consistent with our brand, and we think we can have a significant impact by bringing others on this journey with us.
All right, I know you're doing some great plant-based stuff too, but Ken, let me ask you, are you in touch with the PRC, Chinese government? What are they telling you, and do you trust them?
Well, look, we've been in China for 20 years, over 20 years now, Jim. And so, yes, we have a relationship with government officials, central government, provincial government, local government, and we're connected. We're communicating with them on a regular basis. Certainly as they are working to contain coronavirus, we're playing a responsible, constructive role in helping them do that, simply by just being aware of where we need to close stores and how we can also help, in areas where we have stores open, to ensure that this virus is being contained. And so, this is a temporary issue. And don't be confused. We've been in China over 20 years, and I am still so optimistic about the long-term growth potential that China presents. We will navigate this. We're going to do it true to our mission and our values, and we're going to get through it, and we're going to be stronger for it. And guess what? Next year, we're going to get to comp over this. So this does not change our outlook for our long-term double-digit growth at scale earnings model.
All right, Kevin, thank you for never ducking us. I know this is a tough quarter to try to forecast, but holy cow, I think you're very as transparent as possible. As Kevin Johnson, he's President and CEO of Starbucks.